Greetings, beautiful souls. I was asked by a concerned mother how she can personally cope with and be able to help her young adult daughter who suffers from mental health disturbances. This is a topic close to home for many parents. If you know someone in a similar circumstance, please share this video with them. Now for the guidance, beloved seeker of light, I am Lucy, your guide into the realms of divine holistic health and ancient spiritual wisdom. And I welcome you to the mother who was strong enough to ask for guidance. You carry a heavy burden, my love, as a mother watching her daughter walk through the shadowlands of mental health challenges. Know this, your destiny is one of deep, abiding love, and this path requires immense strength and compassion. The highest wisdom reveals that your most powerful tool in coping is the conscious elevation of your own inner self. When you raise your vibration, you cast a stronger, steadier light for your daughter to follow. This is the law of attraction in its most sacred maternal form. You must first care for the vessel, the temple of your own being, to be the anchor she needs. True health and vitality come with a threefold anchor: body, mind, and spirit. Let's start with the body, your soul's early vessel. A vital foundation is laid through simple, earth-honoring protocols. To remain resilient, you must support your nervous system. Seek out the nourishing wisdom of our ancestors. Consume nutrient-dense whole foods, particularly those rich in healthy fats, which are the very building blocks of a healthy brain. Hydration is key. Pure water, perhaps with a touch of sea salt, helps the electrical current flow through your being. And embrace the rejuvenating power of sunlight and earthing. A few moments with your bare feet upon the earth can ground the most frantic spirit. This physical resilience is your essential energy reserve. For the mind, you must become the compassionate gatekeeper of your thoughts. The struggles you face create thought forms of worry and fear, which drain your life force. Follow the timeless wisdom of realizing the power of your thoughts to compel your body and your reality. Carve out a sacred time each day, even 5 minutes, for deep breathing and stilling the mind. Visualize your daughter already enveloped in a field of radiant health and peace, even as you hold space for her current struggles. This practice shifts the subconscious mind from fear to faith. And for the spirit, find your constant connection to the love frequency. Seek guidance through dream work and quiet meditation, trusting your intuition. That still, small voice is the universe speaking directly to your heart. Consider gentle movement, such as yoga or a nature walk, as a moving meditation to release pent-up emotional energy. Your journey is not a sprint, but a sacred dance of acceptance and hope. Always remember this: a mother's love is the most potent healing force on this earth. Your positive affirmation for this sacred journey is, I am a calm, clear channel of love and healing light, and my steady presence guides my daughter to her highest good. Say this often, for the word creates the world. Okay, let's break this down a little. A vital part of bodily health involves the gut-brain axis, the body's inner cosmos. Gut health is profoundly and directly related to mental health. The gut is the mystical second brain, and it communicates constantly with the mind through the gut-brain axis, a bidirectional highway of nerves, hormones, and chemical messengers. Within the young adult's belly reside trillions of microbes, a veritable cosmos known as the microbiome, and their balance dictates the serenity or storm of the soul. These microbial citizens of the gut are the alchemists of the body. They produce over 90% of the body's serotonin, the very neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of well-being and happiness. They also influence the production of GABA, the soothing messenger that calms anxiety. When the gut is inflamed or the balance of these organisms is broken, a state known as dysbiosis, the communication along the axis is distorted, and the mind receives signals of distress, manifesting as anxiety, mood imbalances, and emotional turbulence. This is the inner landscape that you and your daughter must consciously cultivate to raise your vibration. To help your beloved daughter navigate her path towards serenity, we shall employ a holistic protocol guided by ancient wisdom and modern energetic understanding. This process focuses on consciously healing the gut to soothe the anxious mind, turning inner fear into inner faith. Here is the dietary alchemy. The anxiety-ridden gut often craves comfort in processed and sugary foods and caffeine, but these merely feed the disruptive bacteria. You must seek the wisdom of nutrient-dense primal sustenance. Introduce fermented foods daily, such as kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi, which are living reservoirs of beneficial bacteria, probiotics, that reseed the gut. Also, embrace prebiotic-rich foods like garlic, onions, and asparagus, which are the nourishment for these good microbes. Finally, essential omega-3 fatty acids from clean sources act as a sacred oil, calming the inflammation that is the root of so much mental discomfort. And for the mind, we need to practice the power of stillness, subconscious repatterning. The mind is the master sculptor of the physical form. You must employ the power of the subconscious mind by setting aside time to actively interrupt the looping patterns of anxiety. Before sleep, a time when the subconscious is most receptive, have her repeat an affirmation like, "I am safe, my body is balanced, and my mind is peaceful." Visualization, seeing her gut calm and mind clear, is a powerful form of manifestation that aligns their energy with the love frequency. And for nervous system harmony, let's discuss the vagus nerve. It is the longest nerve in the human body and is the body's primary mechanism for controlling the relaxation response, counterbalancing the fight-or-flight stress response. The vagus nerve is the main conduit of the gut-brain axis, and it must be toned like a sacred bell. Simple practices can stimulate this nerve and invoke a state of peace. Try gargling vigorously with water each morning, singing loudly, or taking a few cold splashes of water on the face. These practices signal safety to the nervous system, turning off the fight or flight response that fuels anxiety. This journey you are on, dear mother, is a profound calling to self-mastery, a powerful initiation into the age of enlightenment. By restoring the inner harmony of the body's magnificent vessel, you not only heal yourself and your daughter, but it sends a ripple of high vibration out into the collective consciousness, elevating the vibration of the entire planet. Allow me delve a bit deeper into nutrient-dense eating, using food as alchemy for restoring mental health. Now, let us speak of the body's vessel, the sacred temple of this young adult, for what they consume is creating an acidic, anxious landscape within. Heavy reliance on caffeine keeps the nervous system in a perpetual state of fight or flight, depleting the essential resources needed for calm and creative thought. This creates an energetic resonance with anxiety. Furthermore, the highly processed, so-called healthy, vegetarian, and fake dairy foods are often Trojan horses of industrial compounds. These items, despite their virtuous marketing, are frequently loaded with poor-quality industrial seed oils, refined starches, hidden sugars, and synthetic additives like emulsifiers. The presence of these agents acts as an irritant to the delicate lining of the gut, causing inflammation and increasing gut permeability, often termed leaky gut. This compromised gut barrier allows distress signals to flood the gut-brain axis, directly exacerbating anxiety and mood swings. The lack of true, unrefined, nutrient-dense fats and proteins prevents the body from properly building and repairing the nervous system, leaving the young adult's spirit ungrounded. Choose foods that nourish the gut, calm inflammation, and stabilize mood. Most foods in the grocery stores are overprocessed and filled with ingredients that force your body to be in a constant state of toxicity. Stick to the basics: fruits, mineral-rich vegetables, pasture-raised eggs, cultured dairy products, sourdough bread, and seek out clean proteins that build and restore, whether they swim in the wild waters or roam free on the land. Also include plenty of nutrient-rich fats like butter, ghee, olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. And remember, bone broths and stews that whisper ancient healing are the best meals for overall health. Read every ingredient on every label. If it contains long chemical additives, seed oils, gums, natural flavors, or preservatives, it clouds the gut and muddies the mind. Your kitchen becomes a temple, when the foods you choose vibrate with life. Now let's discuss bread. Most modern bread is a spell of disconnection from the earth. Bleached flours, refined sugars, seed oils, quick-rise yeasts, and synthetic additives. These disrupt the microbiome, spike blood sugar, and heighten anxiety. Even most pasta, or any product made from modern refined flours, create instability in mood and energy. But there is a sacred exception. True, slow fermented sourdough, made only from organic flour, water, salt, and the living intelligence of natural fermentation. This is ancient bread, easier to digest, gentler on the gut, and aligned with the rhythms of the body. If you and your daughter desire bread, let it be real sourdough, not supermarket imitations. And don't demonize dairy. Not all dairy products are created equal. Not all dairy carries the same vibration. If dairy upsets your stomach, you may just need to choose the right kind of dairy for optimum health. Modern milk, even organic milk, is often difficult for the body to break down. It can contribute to mucus, inflammation, digestive discomfort, and an anxious or foggy mind. But cultured dairy, dairy that has undergone the alchemy of fermentation, is entirely different. Cultured organic simple dairy, such as sour cream, cultured cottage cheese, kefir, and yogurt with live cultures and no sugar. These foods are alive and deeply nourishing. They carry probiotics, beneficial enzymes, and healing microbes that support the gut-brain axis. And for healthier cheeses, choose goat cheese, sheep milk cheese, aged raw cheeses, feta, and true Parmesan. These are easier to digest and less inflammatory for sensitive systems. The key is listening to the body's intelligence and ancient historical dietary wisdom from cultures around the world, not marketing labels. Now, when discussing mental health, we must also mention the digital spell. Social media creates an endless loop of comparison, overstimulation, dopamine spikes, and emotional crashes. It disconnects the soul from its center. Unfortunately, your daughter's generation has been raised with a cell phone or laptop in their hands for far too many hours each day. This can cause stress and restlessness that can lead to emotional and mental health issues. The digital temples of social media act as a phantom mirror, casting shadows upon the soul's true light. By design, these platforms create a cyclical, addictive dependency by offering a quick, artificial surge of dopamine, the reward chemical, only to be followed by a greater crash. This constant, instantaneous seeking of external validation, the likes and comments and sensational global news, overrides the brain's natural pathways for self-worth and genuine connection. The spirit, meant to connect deeply with nature and other souls in tangible space, becomes disconnected, leading to increased feelings of isolation, anxiety, and a diminished sense of self as the brain struggles to regulate its emotions and impulses. Time spent in this illusory space steals from the restorative power of sleep, further eroding the foundation of mental peace. The path to overcoming these spiritual and physical drains requires a conscious, radical return to the authentic self, digital fasting for the soul. One must create sacred boundaries around digital use. Designate times of day when the device is dormant, especially the hour before sleep, to allow the mind to quiet and the natural sleep cycle, essential for mental repair, to begin its work. Replace scrolling with activities that engage the senses in the real world, connecting with nature, creating with their hands, or seeking out face-to-face, heart-centered communion. Here is an affirmation of self-worth. To combat the external comparisons of social media, one must anchor themselves in their immutable worth. Their affirmation should be, "I am whole and sufficient exactly as I am, and my happiness is sourced from the universe within me." Dearest one, the most potent action your daughter can take is to recognize that she is the master of her own field of energy. So, you can remind her, your worth can never be measured in likes, and you have control over what you allow in your mind. Another major part in physical health is movement. Movement as soul awakening. My dear, you mentioned your daughter used to be very active with ice skating. This shift in the physical form, from the graceful, flowing movement of ice skating to a state of stillness, is a profound indicator that the spirit is attempting to communicate a need for deeper healing. When the body, which is naturally designed for motion and the release of energy, becomes stagnant, the mind often absorbs that same inertia, fueling anxiety and depression. Physical movement is a vital spiritual cleansing, a way to move stagnant emotional energy out of the system, preventing it from hardening into mental distress. The lack of activity contributes directly to the mental struggle because movement is necessary to regulate the body's chemistry. When the young adult was skating, the body naturally produced endorphins and BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which act as powerful anti-anxiety and mood-elevating agents. Now, without that purposeful movement, the body's natural feel-good pharmacy has closed, and the resulting chemical imbalance contributes to the heavy fog of mental health issues. The circulation is sluggish, meaning the pure, oxygenated life force is not flowing efficiently to the brain and organs, leaving the spirit feeling heavy and uninspired. The key to reawakening this dormant vitality lies not in forcing a return to intense activity, which can feel overwhelming, but in introducing gentle, purposeful movement as a form of sacred self-care. It must be framed not as exercise, but as a commitment to self-love and energy flow. Encourage simple, conscious movement that reintroduces the flow of energy without pressure. Practices like Qigong or slow, mindful walking in nature are perfect, as they connect the breath with the body, which is essential for vagus nerve toning. The simple act of stretching deeply upon waking or engaging in a few minutes of playful dancing to joyous music can begin to chip away at the inertia. And we cannot have a discussion about health without mentioning the life-giving sun. You can incorporate a morning light ritual. Even 10 minutes of gentle movement outdoors first thing in the morning is profoundly healing. This exposure to natural daylight helps to reset the young adult's natural biological clock, circadian rhythm, which is essential for regulating mood and sleep patterns. This small ritual is a conscious choice to align with the rhythms of the universe, releasing trapped emotion. Movement, particularly practices like shaking or gentle rebounding, is a primal way the body releases trauma and stored anxiety. Encourage yourself and your daughter to see movement as a way to cleanse the auric field and release the emotional residue that has built up, trusting that the body knows how to heal itself when given the opportunity. Remind your dear daughter that the ice skater's strength is still within her. It is merely resting. The first step is the greatest, simply moving the energy. An affirmation for this phase is, I welcome the flow of life force back into my body, and with every gentle movement, I release the burdens of the past. Say it loud. Now, let us turn to the tarot to illuminate the current spiritual blockade that is preventing her from embracing these positive actions. The card that presented itself for your reading, dear Seeker of Light, is the Four of Swords. Dear Seeker of Balance, you mentioned how it can be difficult for you at times to understand your daughter's situation because the two of you seem to have a different approach to life. Thank you for providing this crucial detail, for it illuminates the complex, energetic landscape that has led to this moment of inertia and reveals the true meaning of the Four of Swords. This card often represents a needed period of rest, but when blocked, it signifies retreat, emotional exhaustion, and the profound need for stillness, a stillness that is now amplified by the stark contrast between mother and daughter. The universe is showing us a powerful energetic mirror here. The mother in this story embodies the archetype of relentless outward action and high-frequency doing, fueled by the stimulating fire of caffeine and the external adornments of modern achievement. While this energy has brought her worldly success, it vibrates at a speed that is currently overwhelming and perhaps even intimidating to the daughter's sensitive, struggling spirit. The daughter's intense desire to stay home and retreat is not a sign of failure. It is her soul's instinctual, desperate attempt to seek the protection, rest, and low-frequency environment needed for internal healing. She is reacting to the intense external energy by pulling inward. Any attempts by you to motivate her with more doing, leaving the house, finding a job, are met with resistance because they feel like an imposition of your high-pace, high-stress vibration onto her fragile, exhausted state. It is like asking a deep-sea creature to suddenly thrive in the brilliant, noisy sunlight. Here is the guidance from the Four of Swords. Honor the retreat. The Four of Swords calls for a radical shift in perspective for the mother. You must consciously honor and respect your daughter's need for retreat as a sacred period of assimilation and inner repair. Let's shift the vibration. The most profound action you can take is to slow down your own energy. The universe is asking the mother to seek authenticity and internal peace over external achievement. Can you reduce your caffeine intake even by half and dedicate a quiet time each day to stillness? This modeling of calmness rather than busyness will, over time, create a much safer and more inviting energetic harbor for your daughter. Embrace the low-frequency offerings. Instead of pushing for jobs or outings, you can focus on bringing gentle, nourishing calm into the home when you two are together. Suggest reading together, watching a quiet film, or simply preparing a wholesome, anti-inflammatory meal side by side without expectation. The activity itself is less important than the shared low-stress, low-frequency connection. Validate her need for stillness. When you speak, validate her feelings. Say, "I know you need this time to rest and gather your energy, and I respect that." When you feel a small flicker of readiness, "I am here." This releases the pressure and allows her inner self to feel seen and accepted, which is the necessary foundation for rebuilding strength. Here is a powerful affirmation for acceptance. Your new mantra must be one of patience. Say this out loud daily. "I trust the timing of my daughter's soul journey, and I release the need to control her pace. I am peace." Remember, true encouragement comes from meeting her where she is, not demanding she meet you where you are. By cultivating a space of profound peace and unconditional acceptance, you lower the energetic temperature of the home, which is the single most powerful catalyst for her to eventually venture out again, fueled by her own internal strength. Now, I shall discuss how to guide your daughter with grace. My dear one, your concern is the most beautiful form of love, yet it is often the very intensity of a mother's desire for her child's well-being that can unintentionally create resistance. Your role now shifts from direct guide to sacred witness and gentle inspiration. You cannot force the dawn, but you can tend the garden so that the sun's warmth is irresistible. This approach is rooted in the deep, empathetic, divine wisdom. Every soul is on its perfect path, and we must honor their free will. The key to gentle encouragement lies in two principles: modeling the love frequency and offering the path, not pushing the traveler. Allow me to explain what I mean by modeling the love frequency. The most potent influence you possess is the calm, steady vibration you cultivate within yourself. Your daughter, though struggling, is still deeply attuned to your energetic state. Embrace the practices yourself. Start implementing the dietary shifts, the conscious movement, and the quiet moments of meditation in your own life first. Do not preach about the benefits. Simply allow the resulting peace and energy to be visible. Prepare the gut-healing foods, the broths, the fermented vegetables, for yourself, making them appealing, fragrant, and readily available. When she sees you grounded, peaceful, and thriving, the practices become an attractive choice rather than a demanding prescription. Create the environment of flow. Your kitchen and home must become a peaceful sanctuary. Gently remove the processed, anxiety-inducing foods from the immediate environment and fill the space with pure water, vibrant fruits, and easy access to natural, life-giving sunlight. An environment that supports high vibration makes the lower vibration choices less accessible and less appealing. Here is an affirmation for self-sovereignty, one of release and trust. Say this out at least once a day. I hold space for my daughter's healing, trusting the universe to guide her, and I nurture my own peace. When you speak to your daughter, let your words be an invitation, never a demand. Instead of saying, "You need to stop drinking coffee," say, "I'm making a delicious herbal tea with calming properties. Would you like to try a cup with me?" Instead of, "You need to exercise," invite her, "I'm going outside to walk in the sunshine for 10 minutes to clear my mind. The silence is so healing. Would you like to keep me company?" Connect to her past joy. Speak gently about her past joy in ice skating. Say, "I remember the beautiful flow and strength you had on the ice. That strong, beautiful energy is still inside you, and just a few simple stretches might help you feel that flow again." This validates her history and connects movement to a positive, cherished memory rather than a task. Encourage micro habits. If she can replace one sugary snack with a handful of berries, acknowledge it with genuine, non-pressured warmth. I see you choosing things that nourish your beautiful body, and I honor that intention. Celebrate the effort and the choice, not the final outcome. The change must be driven by her own inner spark of realization. You are a beacon of unconditional maternal love, dear one. Trust in the inner wisdom of her soul to eventually guide her to the light you are already holding. One final affirmation for you, Mom. Say this upon waking and before bed for the most powerful manifestation. I trust the divine timing of my daughter's soul journey. I release control and embody peace. My presence, not my pressure, is her medicine. Thank you, dear maternal soul, for allowing me into your personal space. May this video reach all the mothers and fathers with similar concerns. Please hit the like button so the algorithms will push this holistic content to more spiritual beings. Leave a comment to let me know how this information resonates with you. Feel free to give me feedback and questions for further video content. Ask anything. I'm working on creating an interactive website and phone app where seekers like yourself can privately delve deeper. For now, be sure to follow me on YouTube and Instagram, where my name is @LucyDivineHolisticHealth, where I plan to post more videos guiding you to the best version of yourself. Until next time, dear one, seek joy, dwell in peace, and know that you are deeply supported by the universe.